Meeting called to order, please rise. Pledge allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please, Julie.
Councilmember Talbot? Here. Councilmember Bory?
Here.
Councilmember Navias? Here. Councilmember Hunter?
Yeah.
Supervisor Trombley?
Here. Thank you. We'll have copies of the minutes from the January 13th business meeting. Make a motion to approve as presented.
I'll make that motion to approve the minutes of the January 13th, 2026 meeting.
Thank you. Do you have a second?
I'll second. I've got a couple things that
Okay.
need to be changed in it.
Okay.
Underneath the contract agreements, Jay had questioned at our last meeting that IMA versus the Village of Champlain water. There is 22 years remaining.
Which page are you on?
I don't know what page it is. You gotta go to the page where it's got the updated contract and agreements. Let's see what page it is. It is on page number 13. 8 years have been paid, or 22 years remaining. But that date is accurate. 47.
Okay.
22. Correct. With the dates right.
Alrighty. Well, 22 years remaining.
It's a 30-year contract, a 30-year bond, but there's 22 years remaining. It says 28.
Okay, so I'm not sure if I agree with you. So the 28 was representing from the point that the IMA was last signed and revised. That's not the remaining years left on the contract. Those are total years, I believe. If you look at all of them, it was the year of the length of the contracts.
It started in 18.
No, I know that, Rick, but I think that that term isn't meant.
Well, that would still be only 1 year off. That wouldn't be. Because the new IMA was 19.
Okay, so it could be 1 year off then.
I don't think it's 27 either, but
I think I was supposed to check that, but
yeah.
to make sure that was correct. But it's intended for the length of the contract at the time of signing. Just like the IMA was Ross's Point for sewer, that wasn't intended for that to count down. That's the
Okay.
length of the term,
Okay.
with an expiry date. That's 47.
47 is accurate.
I think 28 is accurate too, because if you take 20 years away from the 47, I mean, 28 away, I'm doing it again. I think it comes out.
A total of 30. And then the new IMA was what, 19, Jay?
I think it got
So that
signed in
would
20.
be 29 years. If that's what it's meant to represent.
Well, if you take 2047 and you subtract 28, you get 2019.
Just saying. Like it.
You want me to go grab the contract?
I have it in front of me. I have the years. I have the.
The last signed IMA though?
No, I don't have that.
Yeah, that's what it was going on,
me.
because it was revised. Oh, this is it. It's November 19th. This is the amended one.
So, well, if you think it's right, then let's leave it.
Okay.
Okay?
That is the amended one, it's November 2019. And that expires in November 2047. So it would be 28 years. Do you have a consensus, or?
Because there's two separate things is what you're saying. There's the payment versus the contract with the village.
Yeah, this is the IMA, which is the contract.
Okay.
That's correct. And that was
November 19th.
November 19 where we amended it. If you remember, Ray, we opened up the original because we were having discrepancies and,
So they're assuming that the payment on the 2019 was already paid?
well, it's not meant for the payments, though, that's just the contract.
I know that, but I'm saying it was signed in November.
Mhm.
But each of these take effect in the month of January, all 30 years.
The payments do,
Yes, they do.
yes, but that's not what we had listed here. We just had listed the IMA, the contract itself, with its length of term and an end date.
So if you don't count 18 and 19, it is 20, that is accurate, if that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
So,
Based on the date of the contract.
I think it would be nice to maybe put in parentheses how many years are left on something like that, just to kind of, so we can track it and we don't kind of lose. And I know the water board does it, I know we're supposed to do it, but it's nice to kind of know that you got 22 years left on this baby.
And I apologize for making that error. I didn't realize that there was a reset of that separate contract when it got signed, that it went back to 30 years.
No, it doesn't. It's
No.
still 47.
No, it just got revised, got amended.
It's just an amendment.
Okay.
So the expiry date doesn't give you the length of term that's left. You'd want in brackets each year or on the?
No, I just, each year when we do our annual organization, in that particular area where you're
As
dealing
long as
with.
it's, yeah, as long as it's made clear, because it's very.
Okay, exactly right, so it's misleading to people, like when you say 28 years ago, oh, I got 28 years left of payments on that thing?
Yeah, so
Well, no,
there's,
if you go back a page and look at the heading, maybe I should move the heading over here as well. It's the term of the contract.
Right. But to the people that are paying on it, I think they would probably like to know that what's remaining in terms of what they have to pay.
Then we'd have to just put A-8-A and call that length of term for debt repayment, which is,
And how many of those are debt repayment?
in this list,
Yeah,
that's the only one.
that is the only one.
Yeah, these
That's
are
why I
just-
don't think it
that-
needs to.
No, that's why I'm confused as to why we need to put that, because it's simply, we're just simply putting this in here so we keep track of our contracts and make sure we don't expire before we review them. And this one doesn't expire until 47, so
That's
that's
correct.
gonna be another
That
board.
is an accurate point. It definitely will be another board.
Okay, so I think we're okay though, as written, correct?
Nobody here will be.
okay.
Any further discussion? Not, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, there's no one here from the public for a general question period. We'll go to my report. Good evening. I'd like to extend a thank you to our highway department. They've done an outstanding job taking care of our roads this winter, as always. And this winter is more like a true North Country winter with sub-zero temperatures and snowfall almost every day. An inch or two every day drove them crazy. When you factor in the wind conditions, the roads require treatment constantly. Our highway crew, including our highway superintendent, have done an outstanding job ensuring that our roads are well treated so we can travel on them safely. I might add, when they're out there, please give them room. They're out there trying to do their job, and they cannot go fast. They have to treat the road slowly. So be patient. But thank you, gentlemen, for your professionalism. We recently attended the Chamber of Commerce annual dinner. Our table was the town of Champlain and its 2 villages. At the table were board members from the town and both villages, and we also had our planning board chair and his wife that joined us, and we greatly enjoyed their company. This year's theme was The Greatest Show, which made for a very enjoyable evening with attendees in a variety of circus-style attire. We thank the Chamber for hosting this fun event and for recognizing the great efforts of our North Country businesses. With that, this year's awardees were Chamber Chairperson Award went to Andrew Sepsi, the CEO of Monahan Medical. Stumbling on it, sorry Andrew. Business of the Year, Michael Della Bella Sr., the Della Auto Group. Business Person of the Year, Chris Akey from Taylor Rental. Small Business of the Year Award to Stacy Ambler, Cumberland Bay Market. And the Trailblazer Award went to Anna Hewitt from Dannemora Federal Credit Union. And Economic Development Partner of the Year was Beth Hill, the CEO at Fort Ticonderoga. Congratulations to the winners of this year's Chamber Awards. I was again honored to attend the annual Champlain EMS banquet. I hold this event dear to my heart as I am humbled to be in the attendance with so many heroes. This year was a very special milestone for the organization as they celebrated their 50-year anniversary. They have grown from an emergency service ran under the Champlain Fire Department starting in 1976. With a handful of men trained in basic skills such as first aid and resuscitation to the highly skilled EMTs and paramedics of the Champlain Moors EMS district. The standards and equipment may have evolved, but the dedication of the men and women of our emergency services remain to be the backbone of this organization. These men and women give enormous amounts of their personal time to serving this community. We are so fortunate to have such qualified professionals who dedicate their lives to saving lives every moment of every day. I recently attended the North Country Chamber of Commerce State of the County, City, and Town. As always, it was a pleasure to attend this event to learn the status of our economic growth within the county. And it is always a great opportunity to be with the North Country leadership of both business and local government who make this region strong. I also just attended a county supervisors meeting at the town of Plattsburgh to address our assemblyman, Michael Cashman. We discussed many topics such as energy costs, the condition of the electrical grid, solar farms, and energy storage, electric school buses and trucks, infrastructure funding, and more. It was certainly advantageous to let our assemblyman know what our needs are, and of course, he is well aware as being the past supervisor of Plattsburgh. We will be organizing a trip to Albany in the near future to meet Michael and other state leaders to represent the North Country at the Capitol. Report on projects. Eat Smart, Waste Less Food Waste program. Please consider joining in as it's a great program and it'll help reduce the amount of methane gases in our landfills and create compost for our farmers. It's been going very well. Please, if you're not joined in now, please consider joining. The Next Trex Plastic Program. Thank you to all who have been donating plastics to be recycled for this project. To date, since we started this in 2023, as of today, we have collected exactly 8,000 pounds of plastic. I know, it's amazing how fast we're doing it now. Thank you to all of our partners, Northern Tier Senior Housing, Champlain Rouse's Point Kiwanis, A.N. Derringer, Champlain Technology Group, Champlain EMS, and currently Champlain Fire District. Complete information on both of these programs can be found on our website to find out how you can join in. Our comprehensive plan revision. The comprehensive plan is completed and the official plan is posted on our website and available in the town clerk's office. Have they sent you a copy yet? Okay, will be soon. I will make a note of that. Miramar Properties, the 19 acres of the mall and the adjoining 7.5 acres, we're waiting for a closing date of the sale of the mall sometime this month, we're being told. Well, this month is dwindling, I'm hoping that it happens before the end of the month. So hopefully I have more to report next month. The 22 acres submitted for housing, I am not sure if this particular buyer has interest in that property as well or not. The Bob Van Community Park, pickleball courts. The surface coating and installation of the nets will be taking place as weather permits this spring. We were not awarded the funding through the Environmental Protection Fund grant that we applied for parks, preservation, and heritage. Very disappointing. We just submitted a new grant application, as of yesterday actually, it got submitted, through the Municipal Parks and Recreation, the NPR grant, with an announcement date sometime of late spring, early summer. The Bob Van Community Park electricity project, we're waiting for NICEAG to schedule their installation next. Once the electrical is complete, Layer 8 and CTG will complete the security camera installation. Great Chazy River project, another disappointing factor, we were not awarded funding through our application. Therefore, we are currently regrouping to determine our path forward to find funding for the feasibility study. Clinton County Health Department, complete streets. There are items that are left to be done. I won't repeat them again. It's been over and over again. We haven't touched them until this summer. We will get to them. And the Elm Street Culvert Project. We're still hopeful to be under construction late fall of 2026, this fall. Although due to the requirement for New York State easements, it is likely that it will not go out to bid until September, with most likely a spring 2027 construction phase. Sewer District 7 project, Barton and Judas are currently drafting the development, design, and preliminary plans for construction. We have been in touch very often in the last 2 weeks trying to get details completed. And you still may be getting a phone call or a knock on the door for finishing details on the installations. Please visit our website and Facebook page for information on events going on around town. And the town is continually seeking to appoint more alternates to the Zoning Board of Appeals and the Planning Board. Currently, I have a seat open on the, an alternate seat open on the Zoning Board. Please consider serving the town in this capacity. We need talented citizens of this township to become involved and assist us in moving forward. Please contact me if you are interested.
That's on the planning board, I think, not zoning. Have an alternate on zoning.
Oh, I got it backwards? I'm sorry. Well, on the planning board then.
Yeah, because we have an alternate in zoning.
It's true, we've got,
Right.
right.
We don't have one on the planning.
Okay, I'm sorry, I have an opening on the planning board, my mistake. So please feel free to stop by. I'll be happy to discuss the town's projects and objectives with you. And most importantly, thank you to all veterans and active military men and women for your service, and also thank you to all first responders, both paid and volunteer, of our EMS and fire departments, and our police officers for your dedication to your community. Thank you. That's true. I forgot I was planning, it was over. Reports from the council members. Councilmember Southwick, would you like to start?
Sure. Our planning board did not meet on February 5th, as there were no items on the agenda to discuss. The next meeting is scheduled for March 5th at 5:30 here at the town office. Clinton County Office for the Aging is currently offering this month an exercise workout for your brain called WITS Workout. Classes offer a program that will teach you ways to take care of your brain, improve your memory, attention, and thinking skills. The first class is scheduled for Friday, February 20th at 10 a.m. at the Town of Champlain office. Following classes are also being held on Thursday, February 26th at 11 a.m. at the Plattsburgh Senior Citizens Council. and Friday, February 27th at 11 a.m. at the Keysville Free Library. I was going to bring up the procurement policy. Do you want me to talk a little bit about that, or do you have that somewhere else on the schedule?
I have it on new business.
Okay, all right, we can talk about it then.
Yeah, I've got it at the end, on number 5 on new business.
Okay, all right, well, that's all I have to report then, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Bory.
All right, I'll start with the ZBA, Zoning Board of Appeals. There was no meeting in January. The next meeting is scheduled for February 19th at 5:30 right here at the town office. On the agenda is a public hearing. So that's again, February 19th, 5:30 right here at the town office, ZBA. Move on to marketing. The marketing committee met on January 27th. We discussed a few things like the next round of video shorts that we're going to do for 2026. I think we have a pretty good list with what I would say is a good theme. Still need to follow up with Boyer Benner regarding some of the goals that we have, the accomplishment. I don't have that for you at this time. I'm hoping for the next meeting. I can definitely share that with all of you in an email. But they are willing to, I think, do whatever we need to do. I mean, that's kind of what I got from the initial message, was that, you know, we'll figure something out, so.
Okay.
All right, and we've got our tasks to line up the folks that we need to line up, so.
I've started, I've met with one
Same.
off my list.
You know, I don't have the whole thing yet, but started. So thanks to the marketing committee for their time, and you know, I guess there will be more to discuss when we get together again. I only have really public information here for the rest of my report. NCCS winter break is February 16th through the 20th. All the buildings, there's no school in session. The buildings, I think, will be open for sports and other events, but there'll be no classes in session February 16th through the 20th. The Rouse's Point Stars and Stripes on the Lake Independence Day celebration is having an open skate fundraiser on February 15th. That's from 4:30 to 6 at the Rouse's Point Civic Center. $4 admission for the skating event, and there'll be hot cocoa and cookies as people would like to enjoy them. It's February 15th. Enjoy the skate. Town of Champlain offices will be closed on February 16th in observance of President's Day. Offices will reopen the next day on Tuesday the 17th, but they will be closed on Monday, February 16th. And the Clinton County Highway Department is going to be conducting a public information meeting to discuss the proposed rehabilitation of the, so I don't actually know the name of this, something that's probably, it's
Is
the,
it Dubois?
yeah, so we sometimes call it the Dubois Road. It used to be, people called it the Webb Dubois Road.
Right.
I think the proper way to say it is the W.E.B. Du Bois Road, because that's actually a real person. So we probably should find out exactly what it is, but anyway.
That's like Perry Mills or Perry's Mills.
Yeah, right, yeah, so, anyway, the Webb Dubois Road,
Right.
that's the bridge that goes over the Great Chazy River. They're gonna hold it right here at the town office from 6 to 7 on Wednesday, February 25th. All right, and they'll give some general information, answer questions. That's the Clinton County Highway Department. That's it, so it's a report. Be safe, still winter out there.
Unfortunately. Thank you, Councilmember Bory. Councilmember Nevis.
All right, I do have things to report today. The Rouse's Point Civic Center is hosting a defensive driving course on March 7th, 2026. The cost is $29.99, and you can call to reserve seats at 518-578-9626, or you can register for the course online at www.additionaltraining.com. And the NCCS class of 2027 is hosting a bottle drive You can drop your bottles off at Roddy's Bottle Redemption at 37 Davison Road in Morris, New York. You just have to mention that it's the NCCS post-prom party, and all funds will go towards their end of, like, their, what is it, after prom party
Yeah.
celebration?
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
And that's all I have.
Okay, thank you very much, Councilmember.
All right, I'll be the long-winded one. Let's start off with, of course, as Councilman Ori just indicated, cold weather's still here, so please continue to check on your residents, especially your elderly residents. Make sure everything is well, as we've gone through a very couple of long terms with cold snaps. Please make sure that your space heaters are at least 3 feet away from all blankets, clothing, furniture, and prevent any frozen pipes by allowing hot and cold faucets to drip slightly, and open up cabinet doors under sinks. Again, reminder, never use grills or generators inside of your homes. Also, our furry friends would ask that you also bring them in during these cold snaps. As we know that it's cold to us, it is also cold to them, and if you can't, please make sure that you do provide dry shelter and access to non-frozen water. Last, as we deal with cold weather, just like anything else, it's nice to know where real-time emergency and weather alerts are, and one of the things that you can do is that you can text 333-111 and type in Clinton County, New York, and you will actually receive all updates. Last, as we look at Lake Champlain, it's probably the first time since 2019 that it's about to be frozen all the way over. But as we know, no ice is 100% safe. So one of the things I want to offer for all of our residents is just a few frozen ice safety precautionary considerations. Number one, use a buddy system. Number two, have a look at the ice, make sure that it's clear. Blue, if it is, that's the best type of ice to go on to. Avoid any type of white or opaque or slushy ice. If you're going out to fish, of course, they always have augers and they can check the thickness. If you're on the ice and you're not sure of the thickness, it's kind of hard to tell, but ice thickness should kind of stay somewhere in the area of about 4 inches for walking, 5 to 7 inch thickness for ATVs, 8 to 12 inches for cars and light trucks. And always bring essential gear such as life vest over clothing and possibly a pick or a claw in case you were to fall in. A charged cell phone. Try to avoid any high-risk areas like shorelines, docks, bridges, pressure ridges, and of course moving water. And last, watch for changing conditions because winds can move large ice sheets. And again, I know we're a few weeks, months away from that, but it's something that we need to kind of start to mention now. Champlain Fire Department, a few updates. Just a reminder to please continue to watch for fire hydrants throughout the district that may be obstructed by snow and ice. Recently, they responded to a large fire in the Shazy Fire District where their municipal hydrant system was used initially under a sustained water supply, and they kind of struggled with this. Accessible hydrants are extremely valuable when establishing water supply quickly, and this makes a meaningful difference when we're talking about overall readiness and emergency response capability. While there is no major operational updates at this time, CFD would like to also continue to have people monitor conditions closely. Historically, they've often seen an increase in fire and emergency residents or incidents, not necessarily during the coldest days themselves, but in periods that follow, like now, when residents begin dealing with frozen pipes, thawing issues, and related heating and electrical challenges. Also, they wish to sincerely appreciate the town of Champlain for all ongoing support and collaboration. And if we have any thoughts, questions, they encourage us to reach out. Rouse's Point Fire Department has nothing to announce at this time. The Village of Rouse's Point, just a few things to note on the rousespointny.com website. You can find some energy saving tips. As we all know, our electricity rates are rising, and any way that we can kind of save some pennies, preferably dollars, that would be appreciated. And they have a lot of tips in regards to dishwashers, water heaters, dryers, insulation of homes, Thermostat use, just every degree that you lower between 60 and 70 degrees, you can save up to 5% on heating cost. And also turn off and unplug any electronics or upgrade your appliances. Blood drive, I'm not sure if this was already mentioned, Friday, February 20th at the Dodge Memorial Library between 11 and 2. Village office and Dodge Memorial Library will also be closed on February 16th in observance of President's Day. Rouse's Point Stars and Stripes was mentioned. Upcoming village board meetings on February 17th and again on Monday, March 2nd at Halsted Hall. They are at 7 o'clock. The public is encouraged to attend. There are no public skating or stick and puck hours as of right now, but please continue to check the Rouse's Point website for upcoming times. The Village of Rouse's Point winter parking ban, again, will still continue to be in place through March 31st, so please make sure that you are not parking on the street. It is prohibited between 12 a.m. and 7 a.m. to allow for snow removal. Rouse's Point Dodge Memorial Library, new hours of operation as mentioned the last few months. Again, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, 10 to 5, Saturday from 10 to 1. The Friends Board of Directors meeting will meet on February 18th, 5:30 to 6:30. Again, open to the public. Library Board of Trustees meets on the second Wednesday of each month, and they will be meeting tomorrow at 5:15. And then the Library Book Club will meet on Wednesday, February 25th at 7 p.m. Also, the Village of Rouse's Point's Zoning Board will be meeting on March 9th at 7 p.m. So please, you're encouraged to attend. Charter Communications, just a few things as noted in our agenda that we received this particular month. AMC's ad-free premium ad on for Spectrum TV Choice, Spectrum My Plan, Latino, and Spectrum TV Basic. There will be a price change of $1, so now it will be $11 per month for that. And on or around February 22nd, there are certain channels that will be dropped. Holo TV, Canal Sur, TVV, which I believe is Venezuela, Termea on Channel Estudio 5, English, Para Todos, Hula TV, Kid Street, and a lot of other stations. So please check with Spectrum to see if there are any other further changes. Signs, my report.
Thank you, Councilmember Hunter. Councilmember Davis,
Yes.
the bottle drive, is there an end date when they stop collecting? I want to note it down for
The
myself.
end of March,
End of March.
yeah.
Thanks. Okay. Report from the town clerk.
You have my monthly report for approval, and then also I just wanna bring up that, I'm still collecting taxes to the end of April, but no more installment payments. So it's just full amounts. So if anybody wants to come in, they can still come in, but it's the full amount that they have to pay.
Okay. You'll have a copy of the town clerk's monthly report. Do I have a motion to approve it as presented?
I'll make that motion. I'll second.
Thank you. Any discussion? We often tell them what the revenues were. Total state, county, and local was $1,115.07. Local shares remitted was $866.80. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Did I sign this one? Do you have a better copy?
No, it's the printer.
Better? Okay.
That's- I need a new printer.
Okay.
I just didn't ask for one during tax season because I didn't wanna change it during that, those 2 days.
Okay. I'll talk to Sarah about it, see what we can do. I'm sure she's gonna see if we can move it later into the budget season if I know her, but. Okay, review of the post audit bills, the abstract, excuse me. We have a copy. as always, these are our regular payments. This one is higher because we have the,
And the big one at the top.
well, we have the
Two on the other side.
two on the other side too. So we have paying our EDU water loan payment for our annual payment, $329,000 and change. And then we have, we receive the taxes in for these districts and pay it back out. So we have $948,000 to Champlain Fire District and $437,500 to the Champlain EMS. So it makes the abstract $1.7 million. Three biggies. And you have a bill list, and we also have a disbursement we will do afterwards. I got it in my packet so we don't forget it. So the total, there are no additionals this month. So the total bill amount is $79,909.98. Do I have a motion to approve as presented?
I'll make that motion with a question to follow.
Yeah, that's perfect. For a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you. Okay, we have discussion.
So what is the clearinghouse highway department in the amount of $302.92?
Give me a number. I don't remember that one.
Again, it's $302.92, I don't know what else to pay.
No.
I don't know which page, I go through them prior to getting here.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Clearing.
It's around 5 or 6, 5th page. Top of the page, very top of the page.
I have no idea what it represents. I know it's highway department, but I don't know what it is.
Oh, I do. This was a case where the Wex card maxed out during a snowstorm, and the highway superintendent only had his card to get the trucks filled up, and we reimbursed him. So that's fuel. That's why it's out of the DA account.
That's the first time it's ever happened, where the Lex card maxed out.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but the reason being is, if you remember, up to this year, we've only had the 2 pickups on it. Now we've got all the highway trucks. And the ceiling amount was too low for the amount of fuel we're
I
burning.
see, it
So what do
wasn't
we need to
adjusted
do to
for all
increase
the
that?
extra vehicles.
Correct.
So what do we need to do to increase that?
Oh, she did it.
She already did.
You know, the very
Perfect.
next day. It's been healthily increased, it's just,
Okay.
Wasn't on anybody's radar when it happened, it was like, okay.
yeah, exactly.
And then the other question I have is the New England Waste Services, that post-closure monitoring. How close are we to being done with that?
The report did not give us an indication that we're gonna be able to go to every 5 years or anything. They still found readings on that one well. So, no, we're not, I don't think my opinion, I don't think we're gonna see that end, but.
So we can anticipate about 14,000 every year?
Yeah.
Is there any way to test properties before we buy them for being able to, not deal with future issues like this? Like most of our sand pits we lease. But I'm just wondering, are there any
Yeah, but
properties where this might fall into that?
landfill.
I know what that is, yeah. But I'm just saying, is there any other situation where the town might fall into something like this, where we end up having ongoing costs that are just,
No, this is all due to the landfill and the materials that was put in it, and the reason it got capped off was because of that.
right?
So it was materials from 2 large corporations in the town that both dispose of a lot of
Right.
toxins, and that's the reason for it.
That's all I have.
Okay.
All right.
So yeah, that's why when we were hoping to get solar on it, I was excited because it would have offset the costs completely, because they would have had to lease, but it's too far out of the way. until there is enough funding for the main, you know, to put in the infrastructure to get it out there for some reason, then it's never gonna happen. That would've been awesome, cause the lease would've been, you know, 3 times that amount. per
That's
year-
enough.
Per year. Okay, any further discussion? Probably didn't do roll call on that yet. Okay. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Southwood? Aye. Councilmember Bory?
Right.
Councilmember Navius?
Aye.
Councilmember Hunter?
Aye.
Supervisor Trombley?
Aye. Thank you. And then we have a dispersal for Barton and Judas. We just copied on this.
Yep, I got it. Got it? We did? Yes,
We might have gotten it in the
Sarah
email, I
signed.
didn't print it out.
Sarah saying.
So it's a total amount of $25,214.71, and I have the listing here. It's all for engineering work and
That brings our total Route 11 sewer amounts that we paid to date to $455,841. And I do have one question on the abstract also. Yeah, because New York State Association of Towns, we paid the dues of $1,100. It's considered municipal association dues, but then there's a $250 charge later on, down further on that same page, for highway and street administration. So I guess I'm not familiar with the highway and
So
street
you're on
administration.
abstract, or you're talking?
Yeah, abstract, it was on the abstract.
No, I think you may have gotten emailed the one that was incorrect. This is, the total abstract is only 3 pages. You've got part of the bill listing in there with that one.
No, I keep the bills separate from the
No, she had it mixed up. When they went out, they got merged.
Well, this is the one that was sent by Sarah.
Exactly.
So
And
we wouldn't see this, and we
No,
would
I-
assume we already did it.
I caught it late afternoon.
All right. Yeah.
I was like, what is
So what
all
is
this?
that?
What is all this
So what is
stuff?
that $250 then?
I don't know, I'll find that one out.
Yeah, please.
It's for highway,
Thank you.
isn't it?
Yeah, but it's, again, it's underneath that, I don't know. So, please check. Yeah, it's crazy.
So that should be in my bill listing.
And the Elm Street project alone already is almost 84,000.
All the engineering costs. So I'll have to find that one here. I'll get an answer for you, I'll email it to you. To all of you. We had a roll call on that, we do not have roll call on the disbursement though, or any motions, or motions at all. So I need a motion to approve it, the disbursement to Barton and Judas for, was it 27,000?
I'll make a motion to approve the payment number 4 to Barton and Judas for Route 11 sewer project in the amount of $25,214.71.
I'll second.
Thank you. Any further discussion on that? Roll call, please.
Councilmember Southwick?
Aye.
Councilmember Bory?
Aye.
Councilmember Navius?
Aye.
Councilmember Hunter? Supervisor Trombley?
Aye. Thank you. You have the report from the code enforcement officer. If you have any questions, I will present them to Chris if I don't know it. I don't get informed of every single line item. few inspections.
Do you know what this Infinity Solar Systems is on South Street in Champlain?
No, I do not. I'm assuming it's a home,
Is it on a roof in a home?
I'm assuming it is, yes.
Oh, on the, just down the road from me, closer
Yes.
to Route 11, there's a property that has solar panels on it.
It's true on the left, though.
Yeah,
Yeah. So it's a home solar.
Mm-hmm.
It's not on the roof though, you're right, it's on the,
it's on the side
it's
of
on
the
the
house.
ground,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's on the ground?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else? If not, we'll go into correspondence. I don't have anything from the highway superintendent other than they're busy. They're busy and he'll be, I know he's gone out and plowed it once on the golf course. We'll probably do it one more time before we start. Correspondence from Charter Communications, upcoming changes, and then this municipal electric and gas, I copied you guys on it. That came into me, so what we've done is we filled out the online questionnaire and application, and we're waiting back to see what they send us. Yep. May or may not be interested, we'll see. I felt that we had to look at it. Because if it was able to save money on the supply charges, that'd be great. And as you can see, there's a lot of counties involved in it. There's 11 counties total.
235 municipalities.
Yeah.
That's cool. So we doing something right.
Okay. That brings us to new business. Resolution number 10 for the Elm Street Culvert Project, number 10 of 2026. Authorizing the implementation and funding of 100% of the costs of a transportation project of which qualified costs may be reimbursed from Bridge New York funds. Whereas a project for the town of Champlain, PIN 775440, the project, contract number is eligible for reimbursement of qualified costs from Bridge New York funding that calls for the post-reimbursement apportionment of qualified costs to be borne at the ratio of 100% Bridge New York funds and 0% non-Bridge New York funds. And whereas the town of Champlain will design, let, and administer all phases of the project, and whereas the town of Champlain desires to advance the project by making a commitment of 100% of the cost of right-of-way, ROW, work for the project or portions thereof. And now therefore the town of Champlain Board, the town board duly convened, does hereby resolve that the town board hereby approves the project, and it is hereby further resolved that the town board hereby authorizes the town of Champlain to pay 100% of the cost of ROW work for the project or portions thereof, with the understanding that qualified costs will be reimbursed from Bridge New York funding. And it is further resolved that the sum of $12,100 is hereby appropriated from pursuant to a bond and made available to cover the cost of participation in the above phase of the project. And it is further resolved that the town board hereby agrees that the town of Champlain shall be responsible for all costs of the project, including costs which exceed the amount of reimbursement available from the New York Bridge funding awarded to the town of Champlain. And it is further resolved that in the event that the costs of the project exceed the amount appropriated above, the town of Champlain shall convene as soon as possible to appropriate said excess amount immediately upon the notification by the consultant thereof. And it is further resolved that the town board hereby agrees that the town of Champlain hereby commence that construction of the project shall begin no later than 24 months after award, and the construction phase of the project shall be completed within 30 months. And it is further resolved that the town supervisor of the town board of the town of Champlain be and is hereby authorized to execute all necessary agreements, certifications, or reimbursement requests with New York State DOT for state aid and/or Bridge New York funding on behalf of the town of Champlain in connection with the advancement or approval of the project and providing for the administration of the project and the municipality's funding of the project costs. And it is further resolved that the town of Champlain will be responsible for all maintenance of the project. And therefore be it resolved that a certified copy of this resolution be filed with the New York State Commissioner of Transportation by attaching it to any necessary agreement in connection with the project. And now therefore be it further resolved, this resolution shall take effect immediately. Motion to approve said resolution as written.
I'll make that motion to approve resolution number 10 of 2026 regarding the Elm Street Culvert Project as presented by the supervisor.
Thank you. Have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Do a roll call, please.
Councilmember Southwick,
Aye.
Councilmember Bory,
Aye.
Councilmember Hunter,
Aye.
Councilmember Navius,
Aye.
Supervisor Trombley.
Aye. Thank you. And as you hopefully understood, that was, I have confirmed, we will be on the hook for anything that goes over what was funded to us, so we're begging the engineers to shave and shave and shave. And that was just for the right-of-way funding of 12,000. It had to be done separately for some reason. It's a separate contract. Resolution number 11 of 2026 to approve the expenditure of funds to remove dead trees that pose a risk to public safety on the town of Champlain property leased to the North Country Golf Club. Whereas the town of Champlain owns land being all those parts of lot numbers 78 and 79 of the 80-acre lots in the Canadian and Nova Scotia refugee tract, which lie east of the center of the highway leading from the Mostyn's Corners, as now or formerly called, across said lots hereinafter the subject premises. And whereas the subject premises are currently identified as parcel ID 19.-1-19 by the Clinton County Planning Department and listed as 84 acres, more or less. And whereas the town of Champlain leases the entirety of the subject premises to the North Country Golf Club, NCGC, to be operated as a golf course providing recreation to the public of the town of Champlain for a fee. And whereas NCGC has informed and requested that the town of Champlain remove approximately 24 dead ash trees, trunks, from said premises as they are posing an imminent risk to health and safety of anyone occupying or on the subject premises. And whereas, as per New York State Comptroller's Office opinions, in order for the town to expend funds on this leased parcel of land to the private club, NCGC, the town must receive from NGCC something of equal or greater value to the cost of this tree maintenance. And now therefore be it resolved that NCGC has agreed that if the town agrees to remove the subject trees, NGCC, I got that one wrong.
No, we're switching. Yeah.
NCGC will agree to the following conditions. NCGC will reimburse the town 50% of the total cost to remove the dead trees and will do so within 30 days of receiving an invoice and proof of payment from the town. NCGC will provide one additional day of golf, which will be free to the town of Champlain residents in addition to the 1 day under the current lease agreement. NCGC will open the course annually in the winter months for recreation such as cross-country skiing, with the caveat that the public would be entering the premises at their own risk. And be it further resolved that the town board approves the expenditure of funds to the low bidder of Kravitz Forestry Services for a total cost of $11,000 under the aforesaid conditions. And now, therefore, be it further resolved that a roll call vote is carried to approve said resolution, and a copy of this resolution is to be given to the secretary of the board. And before we make that motion, you did all have copies of the 3 bids. I know I typed in it was the low bidder, but when you approve this, you're agreeing that is the approval of that quote. Motion to approve resolution as presented by?
I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 11 of 2026 to approve the expenditure of funds to remove the dead trees at the North Country Golf Club.
I'll second.
In the amount of $11,000.
And I'll second.
Thank you. Roll call please, Joy.
Councilmember Southwick,
Aye.
Councilmember Cory,
Aye.
Councilmember Hunter,
Aye.
Councilmember Navius,
Aye.
and Supervisor Trombley.
Aye, thank you. Okay. Next, I left copies, 'cause I just got these back, I just got the approval back from the attorney, so you all have copies of the highway shared service agreement. I left them on your desk today. And then I have this resolution. And that was because I did not get that back until, I actually got it back yesterday afternoon. So it was approved by the attorney. So this is resolution number 12 of 2026, authorizing the highway superintendent to rent, borrow, lease, or exchange equipment in a shared service agreement. Whereas all municipalities, including the town of Champlain, have the power and authority to contract for the purpose of renting, leasing, exchanging, borrowing, or maintaining of machinery and equipment, with or without operators, with other municipalities. And whereas it is hereby determined that the town of Champlain and other municipalities often have machinery and equipment which is not used during certain periods. And whereas it is determined that the town of Champlain and other municipalities often have materials and supplies on hand which are not immediately needed. And whereas it is hereby determined that by renting, borrowing, exchanging, leasing, or maintaining highway machinery and equipment, and by borrowing or lending of materials and supplies, the town of Champlain and other municipalities may avoid the necessity of purchasing certain needed highway machinery and equipment, and the purchasing of or storing a large inventory of certain extra materials and supplies, thereby saving the taxpayers money. And whereas it is incumbent upon each municipality to design a simple method whereby materials and supplies, equipment and machinery, including the operators thereof, may be obtained or maintained with a minimum of paperwork and inconvenience and with a swift process. And whereas it is the intent of the town of Champlain Town Board to give the highway superintendent the authority to enter renting, exchanging, borrowing, lending, or maintaining arrangements with the persons serving in similar capacities in other municipalities, without the necessity of obtaining approval of the town board prior to the making of each individual arrangement. And whereas a standard contract has been prepared which is expected to be adopted and placed into effect in other municipalities, and will grant the person holding the position comparable to that of the highway superintendent authority to make similar arrangements. And whereas it is hereby determined that it will be in the best interest of the town of Champlain to be a party to such shared service arrangements, and now therefore be it resolved that the chief executive officer of the town of Champlain is hereby authorized to sign on behalf of the town of Champlain a shared service agreement with the noted municipalities upon the town attorney approving the said contract. And be it further resolved that this resolution become effective immediately, and a certified copy be given to the secretary, to the board, the highway superintendent, and each of the municipalities listed in the agreement. And now therefore be it further resolved that the town clerk executes this shared service agreement with the town of Champlain highway superintendent and the municipalities that are listed within the contract. Motion to approve said resolution as written. Bye. One list of municipalities on that last signature page. bottom.
I'll make the motion. Resolution number 12, authorizing the highway superintendent to rent, borrow, lease, or exchange equipment as a shared service agreement as presented by the supervisor.
Thank you.
I will second that. At the top where it says resolution number 12, shared service agreement, service, you need an at on there.
Thank you.
And then I just had a question about when something is lent out to someone. And I did see it under section 4. I was concerned about the operation of the equipment and damage to the equipment that we might lend out. And I just wanna make sure that it's specific, that it says that the person that has our equipment and damages our equipment will be repairing our equipment. Is that, am I reading that correctly?
That's what it intends, so I'm rereading it right now.
It says in F that the lending municipality shall be liable for any type of negligent act in regards to, so,
And then under 4,
yeah. I guess my question is why is there such, I don't know, it just seems like there's a lack of transparency here, where you're giving your highway superintendent carte blanche to go ahead and do whatever, and so how does that work in terms of communicating with you and transparency?
Usually lets me know when he's doing something. I'll give you examples, like, last year, did a shared service with Town of Morris to pave. That was brought basically to us, that that's what his intent was to do. This year it might be with Clinton County Highway Department. Town of Plattsburgh paved the pickleball court. Recently got the village of Rouse's Point to go out with the sidewalk machine to do the initial plowing, because we didn't know how froze it was.
how do we know that the communities are balancing this, and that one community is not taking advantage
Correct.
of another community more
Right.
than another?
Yeah,
I know it says records
I
or.
don't think there's a mechanism for us.
I don't think there's
To
anything
keep
in
track
there,
of that, no.
reading these 3 pages.
You're just getting into an agreement and.
I mean, it's been done, so,
This is not new.
It's been happening, we just.
actually there was paragraphs taken out because documentation is not being done by anybody. And I sent it to the attorney and said, can these be removed, because there's not a municipality in Clinton County that does this. You know, the verbiage that was in the old contract actually asked for memorandums every single time.
Oh, wow, okay.
And there's just not enough time to pull that off to begin with. It's usually on the fly, somebody's paving and they'll make a phone call to Alan, can we get a couple of trucks? Off the couple of trucks go, and vice versa. And so I don't think we can bog the system down to that degree, because that's the way it's been going on forever. To get these guys to do that, I think was a stretch, and naturally Matt agreed, was, yeah, take it out, he said that never happens. But it was in the old contract.
Does our highway superintendent keep a record of when something does go out?
Yeah.
So that we can
Yeah, I
keep
gotta-
track of any damage that might be occurring?
Yeah, I gotta ask him for something to that
Something.
effect at the very least.
Cause that's a lot of people that are included in this.
Yeah, and
It's mostly local, right? Morris, Ross Point, Champlain.
mostly Plattsburgh, Clinton County Highway Department. Those are the ones that were pulled out. The original contract had every single municipality that you can think of, Redford, Sable, places where he wouldn't ever, never has, and probably never would, so we eliminated a bunch of them. And those are the ones that Alan chose to leave in there.
Okay.
But this isn't new, this is
No,
a renewal of a contract that,
No, but there is opportunity for concerns with this, though, to a degree too, so.
I think about the most we can ask for is some sort of a log, so when when a piece of equipment get lent, you can at least know where they are.
And what's the obligation when somebody's requesting a piece of equipment that you in fact follow through with it? I mean, if somebody requests something, do you have to give it to them?
And not only
If
that,
you're not using it,
let's say my municipality gives you a particular piece of equipment, and let's say it sits there. Now it's been there a week, and some other municipality could use it. There's a lot of,
And is there any?
well, they work it out amongst themselves, I mean, it's not, as long as I've been in this position, I haven't seen where it's been an issue.
Okay. And how does stuff get there? Like, what if it has to be loaded onto a
right.
flatbed or something?
Okay, so that's dependent. If it's a case where Rouse's Point wants to borrow, which they have, Sean and the excavator, then Sean brings it over and does the work and comes back. Quite often, if the municipality is capable of transporting the piece of equipment, they would come here with their own equipment. It doesn't happen every day, but it does happen. And it's not just for borrowing equipment, I mean, it's going out and helping the other municipality. I remember a few years ago that they were shouldering roads after a paving project by hand in the village, and Alan says, hey, want us to give you a hand? He got a crew with the equipment, went out and did it. That's typically what it is. It's, that type of a sharing. Other examples are when the county's paving, or the town of Sheezy's paving, and they need more trucks, they ask if they can get a couple of trucks for a week. Send guys with the trucks to work and vice versa. Have them come back and help us out.
I don't think we're questioning the validity or the importance of such a contract. And I think we see the value in that. I think we're just asking for a little bit of, you said transparency, a little bit of accountability on this, so we can understand that the equipment's not being abused, or there's not one municipality taking advantage of it, so that's the only thing I we're asking.
And the thing I wonder is that, let's say, for example, our municipality borrows a piece of equipment, let's say it's damaged. Are we budgeted for something like that? To repair it or to replace it?
Well, if they break it, they're expected to repair
Well,
it.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, and that's probably not budgeted for.
The one using it is the one that has to repair it.
That, I understand that, but I'm saying if we borrow it
Yeah,
and
that's
we
what I was
damage
thinking.
it, then
Yeah.
that's not budgeted for.
No.
So in other words,
But it comes out of that piece of that highway budget though. It's part of that business for the year, just as if he would have had to go out and rent a piece of equipment to get whatever work done. I think the most we can ask for is I can see if we can either get a log, or if he can communicate with Sarah, and Sarah keeps some kind of a log for you so you can see what's being done. If that is in there, by the way, that there is
It
a
says
paragraph.
records.
That was,
It does say-
I left that in there. There hasn't been any to date,
Well,
but
it's
we can
not,
try to start it.
I was gonna say, it's not hard to keep a ledger book like the one you have, right there, with the date and
Yep.
write it down.
It also would be nice to reflect on this and see how much it's utilized. and
Sure.
Some of the questions we have, those probably very easily answered to go, well, the only one piece of equipment was borrowed in 2 years, or
Right.
whatever. I just think it's helpful to understand this a little bit more.
Okay, so like I said, I left that paragraph stayed in. But the memorandums came out, it's never happened, and there was no way it was gonna happen. Not just from this highway department, that would be all of them, would have to start doing it. So that's why Matt was in agreement to move those paragraphs out. But if you remember right, we just signed one, might have been late last fall, for the town of Saranac, that had all that verbiage in it. I read it better when I was writing town of Champlain and all of its spots. So anyways, where were we? We had the motions, we're on discussion, right?
Yeah, and there's just one, there's a word that it's supposed to be saying in B, third line down.
On the front page,
Yeah.
third line of the first paragraph?
Yeah. No, second paragraph, B, third line. Filing the same.
Same typo. That must have been there. I didn't type that.
Same.
I'll do a search. Okay. Any more discussion? Is there a roll call on that resolution?
Yes.
Okay, roll call please.
Councilmember Southwick. Aye. Councilmember Bory.
Aye.
Councilmember Hunter.
Aye.
Councilmember Navius.
Aye.
And Supervisor Trombley.
Aye. So there too. Resolution number 13 for official electrical inspection services designations. Whereas the town board of the town of Champlain designates one additional electrical inspector as approved electrical inspection services to be used for building permits and code compliance. And whereas Mr. Jonathan Manar of Adirondack ADK Electrical Inspectors LLC has requested to be added to the town of Champlain's official inspection services list. And whereas Mr. Manar has been vetted by the town of Champlain Code Enforcement Officer, and based on the qualifications and references that were satisfactory, the town of Champlain Code Enforcement Officer recommends adding Mr. Jonathan Manar to the official electrical inspection services for the town of Champlain. And now, therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Champlain designates Mr. Jonathan Manar as an additional contractor approved as official electrical inspection services for the town of Champlain. And now, further be it resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately. Motion to approve said resolution?
I make a motion to approve resolution number 13 as read and printed.
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So that brings our inspector
Any
list
opposed?
to 5.
To 5, yes. Thank you. Motion carried. Next would be the review of the procurement policy. I sent you, I told you I was going to print colored copies for you in case you had any questions. This is a review process. If you've got any more changes that you'd like us to do, the next step is to send it to Matt for review. And I sent you guys out all the supporting documents that we used. And I'll do the same, with Matt. I'm sure he's more than capable of going to those locations, but I will just forward him the same email. And I need to thank Dorothea for doing the lion's share of the typing and work on it. We got together several times and tweaked and researched, but Thank you, Dorothea.
I don't know.
So everything aligns with the comptroller's office.
Yes, and our own code,
No, I'm really concerned about.
and our own code, and the New York State as well.
Can you just, remind what
General municipal law.
the color code, or the color
Right.
coordinations are?
Blue is what?
So, blue, turquoise,
That was in the email.
It was.
It was, I just don't
I
remember.
don't remember either.
yeah, it is.
I read it like a week ago.
Yes, I think that this was something that was part of the general municipal law.
Okay.
104, and then this is, if anybody's ever used a Joy of Cooking cookbook, and you read a recipe and it says, go to page this for the white sauce, and go to page this for something else. We were jumping all over general municipal law, 103, 104, then we went to the state comptroller's office, and then we went to another place, and it's a compilation of a lot of law.
Remember when that was sent, Tom?
Yeah.
A couple
Pulling up.
weeks
I'm gonna look
back.
right now.
Trying to pull it up right now.
Yeah.
The latest changes were made in gray.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
the latest one.
The changes in yellow were amounts that were changed based on general municipal law again. Requires 20,000 for supplies and equipment and 35,000 for
Found it.
public works and contracts.
I got the colors if you want me to.
Oh, yes,
list them
go
out.
ahead.
Please.
Mhm.
So the green replaces the term guideline. That's all,
So just new language.
Mhm.
language. Yellow represents the changes in the dollar amounts and slight rewording of the original to be more clear. Also elimination of the term fax replaced by a more updated form of communication such as email. The turquoise is new to the policy, and that is driven by requirements by general municipal law, labor law, and state finance law. So that's everything that's turquoise. The pink are revisions made to the policy in 1993, 1997, and 2011.
Oh, those aren't in there,
They're not in this
that
one.
was on the old one.
That was on
yeah.
the old one, yeah.
Okay, so we don't have to worry about
We
that.
don't need to worry about pink.
So any other colors other than the three?
No.
That's
That was it, that's
Well,
all I saw
gray.
for colors.
And then the gray were the latest,
The
very recent.
updates and changes.
Mhm.
Okay. Thank you.
I couldn't remember.
So like, if you notice the, page 5 and page 6, that's totally new to the policy. That's a quick reference guide that we kind of pulled from the town of Peru, if I remember right.
It was either Peru or also, no, it was Rye, New York. That was the
From Rye?
38 page one.
I felt this was a go-to page for keeping us straight.
Yeah, sorry about the color, it's kind of hard to read.
Well, it's just the color of the text, the black is,
Yeah.
if that was in a white, I think, or in a, yeah, but it's fine. Kinda like your Kindle when it changes color in there.
So the one thing that, the reason for the gray, there are state and county contracts that more frequently the highway department uses to secure bids on big pieces of equipment.
Pickup trucks.
You know, trucks and, well, it's a big
Plows.
piece of equipment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but we've been doing that in the past, just buying under one state contract, so we had to drill down to make sure we were doing it correctly, because it's about as clear as mud when you start looking at 4 different documents.
So in order to make sure that it's understood that
we could go through these state and county contracts to secure those types of items without requiring a sealed bid.
Correct. So,
So that's section 8 of 104B?
mm,
That was in the state comptroller's office in this,
it's in this section of this policy, I thought, wasn't it?
yeah.
Section of the policy that we're referring to.
And this, you have this on that email, Rick, if you want to take a look at that.
No, I read through
Yeah.
what you sent.
Yeah.
That was the longest document,
Yes.
by far.
Mhm.
So how has the town been following this policy in the past? I mean, were we pretty much in line? For the most part, right?
For the most part, except our
Our
number,
dollar
our
amounts.
dollar amounts are too low, so
Yeah.
we
But
were,
that
We're working-
changes, it's relative to time.
Sure, I think the
Correct.
last dollar amount change was by Councilmember Moore, and he raised it to
$250.
$250.
For,
Any purchase that we did,
That we now,
200.
was
that
under-
we now have set at 3,000. Because it really would tie hands
yeah,
like you wouldn't believe. And yes, as far as the state contract bidding, but we haven't been following it to the letter of the law, because what you're supposed to do is print out the proof of that state contract for that vendor or that dealer, and file it with the equipment file. In other words, you buy
Yeah,
buy a truck from Champlain Pete, you're supposed to go in, double check to make sure they haven't expired, they are valid, print that page off and slide it in. So I printed a couple, Wex Bank, I just gave that to Sarah a couple of days ago. I go, you better put this in the file, because I know we hadn't done it. But Wex Bank is state pricing, and they're good for another 5 years, I think, for expires. It gives you the expiry dates. And those types of things we haven't been diligent on, because we haven't delved into these as closely, and our policy wasn't clear.
it also talks about lowest bidder and best value.
True.
So if you have a bid from a company in Oshkosh, Wisconsin, that might be low bidder to a closer contract, but it's not your best value if you're gonna have to be sending your piece of equipment out to Oshkosh, Wisconsin for repair. So that also is included in there.
True. So it follows our code, it just gives much more detail, so we can try to stay in the straight and narrow. And the code had been updated to the current, prices of, 20,000 and 35,000. And that's another point I think that we need to keep in mind too, like all purchases of supplies that exceed 20,000 in the fiscal year is subject to bid. There are exceptions though, so if you're getting your supplies from the county, for example, it's one of the exceptions from other government agencies. It's a lot to keep track of. Another one I thought of today was like our insurance. But then if you look at the exceptions, under except when directed by the town, no solicitation of written proposals or quotations shall be required in the following circumstances: acquisition of professional services. Is that our insurance agent? Or, we just renewed that in October, and we didn't go out to bid. We probably should, this
so what
coming
do we
year.
pay for that a year?
Yeah.
It's over 30. Fairly. So it would probably be the right thing to do is to go out for bids on that this year, for next year's contract.
So does it give the municipality the preference to choose when it comes down to like specification?
Mhm.
So in other words,
Best value.
which is what I read, but, so in other words, a lot of times we could just say with local,
Well, that was
if
the-
they're not far off in price.
Mhm.
Right, well, that was the issue that came up with the one truck we were looking at.
Right,
Between the two companies. You can't really, you wanna compare apples to apples, but when you got a GM car versus a Ford,
Mhm.
they're not gonna be exactly the same.
Right.
But the additions of some stuff on, so then you have to look at best value, not necessarily lower bid.
Yeah, so like, when we
And
go
that
out,
provides
when we
for
go
it.
out for a truck, I mean, we don't have to get pricing from more than one state contracted dealer, but if we have two available, I think it makes sense to get two prices. Because, you know,
When you look
I
at
know
the-
it's state pricing, but when you're looking at fuel, fuel is fuel. When you're looking at vehicles, you know, a Chevy will, even though it's a state price, will still be different than a Cadillac. But again, you're not looking at apples to apples. But
Yeah,
it's
but
the
you-
same
you-
things that happen to the truck, because the two that we have in this area is Western Star and Peterbilt. And they are both state pricing. Peterbilt's tough. I mean, if you look at the three documents from
Yeah. Comptroller.
New York State, from the Comptroller's office and the Finance office.
Hey, don't read it at bedtime.
So, I don't know, I think we've done a good job to try to keep it as simple as possible so we can stay in line. And I'm sure as with everything, it's not perfect, but I do want the attorney to approve it. Because it's that important.
And you said this is now going to him, or he has it now?
No, I'm gonna send it to him if you have no more changes.
Yeah, we needed you all to look at it, because that's also in the general municipal law that the other council members need to review it for comment,
That's
Right.
right. That is true. It's in GML.
so dive in.
I've already read it, so
Yeah.
I'm comfortable with it.
Okay.
It's good. I think it's the direction that it needs to be.
Okay. All right, then we'll send that off.
And how often should this be updated?
It's supposed to be reviewed annually.
Yes, that's right, I was gonna say that, but I don't think it gave a time period as to how long it, what the intervals of renewal is, it just annually has to be reviewed.
Has to be reviewed annually. I think that's also.
That makes sense, because if your vendors change, if your supply chains change, there's a lot of variables that
Yeah,
can really
this-
move prices.
Section 12, the policy shall be reviewed annually by the town board at an organizational
Right.
meeting or soon thereafter is reasonably
Yeah.
Yeah,
applicable.
I think I thought it was fine when I read it.
Okay. Okay, I got, one more thing under new business. I make a motion to enter into executive session to discuss a billing history of a water district customer. I made the motion, I need a second.
A second.
Thank you, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carries. Okay. Thank you, Jason, if you get the camera briefly, we'll try to be brief.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Welcome back. Thanks, Jerry. Okay, so I need a motion to,
I make a motion that
And
we
the-
leave executive session and go back into regular session.
perfect, thank you.
I'll second, go ahead.
Don't you go ahead.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. The discussion that took place, the only determination was the billing discussed will be issued as per intended and as per our town code and similarly as per the village code. However, the error in the water reading that we had to discuss will be investigated thoroughly for a corrective measure to prevent this from occurring again. It's the only decision. There was no votes taken, or no votes required, I should say. Okay, so the only thing I have left after this is old business, which this will be our next thing on our agenda when we get the procurement policy passed. Is we need to do this investment policy. It's still left on the old business. Next business meeting is scheduled for March 10th, 2026. Hope to see you all there. Motion to adjourn, please.
Just have one thing. Should make note that the DMV office will be closed February 13th through the 17th. That's all across New York State. They're doing a statewide system upgrade, and this will also include DMV online services. That's February 13th through the 17th. The New York State Department of Motor Vehicles will be closed, both in person and online. Plan accordingly.
Thanks. Yeah, that was on the news, so thank you for reiterating that.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you.
Second that.
So accepted.